So now we have complete the working functionality of this four section. Now we can use some other method to achieve this functionality. So let's see example. So if we are maintaining all the section code in same place, so we don't want like this kind of approach. So we need to separate all this four item to separate component, and this state should be maintained in centralized way, and then the state has to update based on that component level only. So let's see how to do this task using context API with useReducer lifecycle hook. So let's see how to do this. So I am going to put this four section into different component. Inside components, I'm going to create a file called water.tsx. Create inside the components, not inside the UI. I'm creating inside the components. Water calories dot tsx, burn dot tsx, calories burn weight dot tsx. Okay, now let's create a function. Burn is a functional component, so import fc from the React library. Calories is also a functional component, fc, import them from library. Now I am going to use this component inside our page.tsx file. So I am going to minimize all this section one by one. Let's import this one by one. First water, next calories, next burn, and finally weight. See, you can see all this section inside one by one. Sorry, weight we have imported from Lucid React. Weight from the component. Okay, see, we have imported the component successfully. Now we have to move this section to inside this component. So I am copying this first component, paste them inside water. So we also required to import some icons from the dependency file. So I am going to import all this icons from the dependency React icons, and I am removing this unwanted icons from the logic. And right now I am commanding down this on click functionality, and I am making this as a static value, 11 glass of water. Okay, now you can see this is non-functional right now. Same for calories. So now we have removed all this logic from page.tsx, and we moved our code to different components. Let's see how to connect this functionality and then the state using context API. Now we don't want some of the functionality in this page.tx file. Let's remove that functionality from this file. So I don't want this handling decrement and increment function here. So let's remove this function, and I don't want this state as well, use state. So I am removing this. So here I am right now, I am emptying the dependency argument. Here I am putting a static value. Let's do this in some other way. So I have to create a, context variable first. For that, I am going to create a folder called hooks outside this app directory. So inside hooks, I am going to create a file called context.tsx. So here, use client. This file is going to be a client component. So this so that I am using use client. Export const fitness context equal to create context. Import the create context from React library. So I am setting the initial value as null. So once I created this context variable, I need to mention what type going to pass inside this fitness context hooks. So for that, I am going to create an interface called iFitness. Export interface iFitness. iFitness is called interface fitness. State, it holds the type of the each and every state, like water, calories, burn, and weight. So below that, I'm going to mention two function. One is called handle decrement. So it's going to be a void function. It has no return type. And handle increment. So this also nothing to return. So it is a void function. So we require two arguments. So we need to pass what field going to pass inside this increment, whether it is water, burn, calories, or weight. So for that, we require this state enum. So we already mentioned inside our page.ts file. So I'm going to copy this entire enum. So I'm going to cut this entire enum, and I'm going to paste the enum here. So this will be export from this file. So I'm using export keyword before the enum. So here I need to pass argument arg I state. Here also the same argument comes here, arg I state. Okay, that's it. So we have to intercept this iFitness to create context. For that, use angle bracket after this create context text, then pass this iFitness here. So we mentioned null as a initial value, so that use or symbol, and then put null value, null type, so that this error will be gone from this file. So we successfully created our context file. Let's create a state management logic using this context. For that, we have to create a component inside this component folder called fitness layout. This component is also be a client component, so I am using use client. And here I'm going to import the fitness context to this fitness layout component. fitness context from hooks folder dot provider. So this requires a property of value. So value I am going to pass null right now. So I am passing it as null so that error is gone. So this fitness layout going to be a wrapper function. So for that we need to pass a child component inside this props, so that I am mentioning it as a functional component fc. Inside here, children react dot react node. So this will pass entire child component as a properties. So now we can extract this children from the props children, and then I am going to render inside this DOM element children. So that's it. So we successfully create our fitness layout. Next what we are going to do is, so we are going to use reduce hooks from the React library. So what is use reducer is also comparing to the use state. This also maintains some state, but the only main thing is we can able to dispatch n number of logic using this use reducer hooks. Let's see how we can implement this use reducer. First I am going to create an initial state for this use reducer. For that, const initial state equal to, so this has the type of I fitness of state. Okay, so now this ifitness state interface is empty, so we need to pass type inside this ifitness. So first water is going to be 11 glass of water, and calorie, it's going to be 1800 calories, and burn, this value is 300 calorie needs to be burned, and then weight, this 65 kg of weight. So I have created the initial state variable. So now we can create a reducer function. So for that, const reducer, this has two arguments. One is a state variable and the another is a action type. So first state variable, state is going to be I fitness of state, and second thing is going to be action type, action. So action, so I am going to mention action payload here. One is type is going to be what type we are going to use. One is a increment or decrement. For that we have to create another kind of enum here. Enum case type increment, increment, decrement, decrement. That's it. I'm going to pass this as a type interface, case type. And second is field. What type of field we are going to pass? Field is I state. Okay, so inside this reducer function, we are going to use a switch case, switch of action dot type. Default, it is going to return the same state. And for a case type dot decrement. So I'm going to decrement any of the state called water, weight, burn, or calories. Have to decrement, right? So for that, I'm going to return. So inside this return object, I am going to destructure entire state. So this state holds the entire value of this particular items. So I am going to destructuring with. So inside this action type, I am getting a field type as well. So I mentioned that inside here action dot field. So here from the state I am extracting the field items, whether it is a water or calories, some other thing as well. Action dot field -1, and that's it. Decrement logic is completed. So same logic comes for the increment as well. So I am copying this entire case. Decrement, instead of decrement I am going to change it as an increment. So instead of minus I am going to use plus symbol. So that's it. So our reducer function also created successfully. Now we have to use this initial state and then reducer function inside our use reducer. For that, so create a const variable use reducer from React library. So I am going to pass two things. First is reducer function reducer, and second is initial state, and that's it. Getting two parameters as a return type. One is state and another is dispatch. So how this state, this will return the entire state of the initial state, and this dispatch function will dispatch the specific switch case. So let's create a two more function below here. Const handle increment equal to, it has an argument of I state. Instead of args I am using field. Dispatch type of I am using increment, so case type going to be dot increment, and then field. That's it. Handle increment logic completed. And now I am going to build a handle decrement. Handle decrement equal to field of I state, dispatch of type case type dot decrement, and field. That's it. Now we are going to pass the state handle increment and handle decrement method inside this fitness provider value. So how do we pass? Let's create a object state handle decrement handle increment. So the error has gone. So we have successfully created our fitness layout using this useReducer lifecycle hooks. So now we have created this context as a centralized state management using reducer. So let's see how we can use this context to our components. So first we have to wrap this entire fitness layout to our root file. So inside page.txx, I am going to wrap this entire HTML elements inside this fitness layout component. So I am wrapping entire thing inside this fitness layouting. So how the state will be shared? Context state will be shared to the child component. The context state will be shared only for the child component, not outside the parent component. It only shares inside the child component. So that only I am wrapping entire thing inside this fitness layout component. Now we want to use this fitness uh, context inside our other components, UI components. So I am going to create a first component for water. I have to use this context to this component. Const equal to use context of fitness context as I fitness. So here I am going to extract the state variable state. So now I am going to uh, pass remove the static value, and I am going to paste the state of water here. So now I am going to see whether it is rendering properly or not. I am refreshing the page. See, level glass of water, drink level glass of water is showing correctly. So we have implemented our context variable successfully. So now we have to do dynamic action. We need to increment the logic and we have to decrement the logic. So for that, we have to use the this handle decrement method. Handle decrement for decrementing a value. I'm going to import this I state, and for handle increment I need to extract the handle increment function. So I also mention this here. Let's see if the functionality is working perfectly or not. So I'm incrementing the value. See, the incrementing is happening successfully. I'm decrementing the value. The decrementing the value also happening successfully. Let's do this for all these three items, next three items, for eat up to 1800 calories burn at least, and then for weight. So let's see the same context, hooks going to be come here. For weight I am mentioning, instead of static value, state dot weight. Saving this file. See, weight is incrementing and decrementing. Yes, it is incrementing and decrementing successfully. Next, for calories, the same logic comes here. Copy this entire thing, go to the calories component, paste them here, import all the dependency, use context, fitness interface, and command these two lines, import I interface state, and then extract a value from state dot calories. Check the calorie count is working fine. Yes, it is incrementing and decrementing. So next is burn. So copy the entire thing again, go to the burn, paste them here, and that's it. We have implemented, sorry, not calorie, it's burn. And we have successfully um, completed this context with the reducer state. So now our state has shared globally to all this component in single place. Now we are not maintaining each and every state inside this each in every component. We are wrapping entire state as a globally to this entire component. So we have completed this successfully. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel.